Welcome back to Skyline Stroll. Today I'm at a state park pretty close to home, and I'm going to be talking about finding avenues to stress relief in a hard modern world and limiting media consumption and finding entertainment, breaking monotony, stuff like that. So I've wanted to do a series on like state parks and stuff for a while, and it's a nice day out. It is mid-February, but in spite of that we have like 60-degree weather right now, and so here I am at the park. The nice thing is, since it's midwinter, the park's free to enter, and in a minute I'm gonna flip camera to show some of that and talk about more about social media. So let's have a good little walk. So the news and social media these days can be very negative and bleak and all around draining to just kind of consume and take in, and it can kind of seep into our day. Next thing we know, we're thinking more like, what's the point? And negativity does get a lot of attention online, so kind of forcing it into your like content, if you're a content creator, does clearly increase views, and I'm not a fan of that. So I try to limit the amount of negative content I consume. For a while there I was watching a lot of very negative focused stuff, and it probably wasn't great for me. It was clearly affecting my mind. And tell you what, I love the ice still on the side of the cliff there. I think that's pretty. It's actually really warm, so it's kind of impressive that the ice is still lingering on in places. And so, talking more about limiting media, I try to limit my access to like political media. I try to kind of limit my access to news about like tech and big corporations. You should probably know a bit about what those guys are up to. It is kind of valuable, but at the same time, I also like to not let that control my feed, not let that fear-based content really rule. The news, I stay a lot away from the news because of that, and I try to watch a lot of like uplifting content, some self-help content, fun stuff, like just strictly entertainment value, but I don't really like to watch a lot of drama. A lot of people I know really like to watch a lot of drama, and I can't stand it for the most part. Every now and again I get kind of a craving for it, but it's not my cup of tea, so I try not to watch much of it. And man, I'm going to show these falls here in a minute. They're downright pretty. They're great today. Let's get a look at those. My camera's having a hard time focusing in on the falls. Okay, moving away from the, like, rail helped. So, this is one thing I strongly recommend to help you kind of rebalance your mind and help improve your day. Even the most like rural and remote areas probably got some cool stuff like this that you can really check out and explore. I've been to this park a dozen times now, but I'm quite the fan of it, and I like to come back. It's quite relaxing. The falls are very soothing and can help me kind of relax a bit, and there is quite a bit of deep woods here. There's a big old cave, and we can go down by the falls, which I will be doing next. So, talking more about maintaining a positive headspace in a seemingly bleak modern world. It's not the easiest thing to, but it's very worth doing because people value positivity now more than ever. As it seemingly decreases in all surroundings, people want it more and more, and I think trying to maintain a good headspace, trying to focus on uplifting things and things you can actually control and work on are going to be key to leading a life we can actually care about and enjoy. And the staircase here is windy and cool. I might show it a little. Ooh, ice. So when it comes to thank God for this rail. This is very slick. Oh boy. I'm not sure I want to go all the way down. We might need to like come back when it's less icy, and I'll just try and show some of the creek bed. And down there's where the stair comes out. Yeah, I just really don't want to try my luck with this ice. It's very slick, and it's more the coming back up I'm worried about than going down. So I'm gonna turn around. Just fine. Something to show another day. I'm sure I'll come back to this park for another video. So being positive in a negative environment will get you kind of targeted by people. A lot of people, if you don't play into the drama, almost are like intimidated by that, and then will single you out for the drama because of that. So that can be very exhausting to deal with, especially if it's in your work environment. Like if you work somewhere where your coworkers cause you a lot of stress, they like a lot of drama, they normally have like 1 to 2 people they've singled out to be the targets of drama. Then what's going to happen is you either kind of play into that drama, or become the target of it, in my experience. And it doesn't feel good to play into it. I've like talked shit about people I didn't have any issue with before, just because it was kind of the tone of everyone else in the room. I'm not proud of that. I don't suggest that. And also, try to stand up for people that are getting targeted by stuff like that. Chances are it's just drama, it's just crap, just a bunch of malarkey. And man, this park's real pretty this time of year with all the fallen leaves. It looks real good, lush, but I don't know, I like the winter and fall aesthetic on the park. And this here old stone path is fun. The little building down at the end. This will also take us out by the creek, and this is why I needed to get out sooner. I've been just constantly going to work and coming home. My money's been pretty tight, so I've been talking myself out of doing stuff like this, spend the gas, time, and potentially gate fee to come here. And instead it's like I feel good coming here. I got my work related stuff out of the way earlier. Now I'm here chilling at the park. Gonna walk into this old stone shelter. This thing's pretty cool. So when it comes to maintaining positivity, you can try a gratitude journal, just making yourself focus on things you actually enjoy and care about. You can try your luck with affirmation phrases. You can try to focus on filtering more positive content into what you watch online and try to really filter out their own negative voices. You can spread positivity each day by just passing around compliments, not because you want anything, or any reason other than just you want to make people feel good about themselves. I like a lot of real neutral compliments, like on style and on like wisdom and knowledge and on people's ability to be like patient and stuff. I like giving people those kind of compliments, or like work related compliments, because they're neutral, they're free, and they make people feel good. So some of that can really change your environment around, can get people to think. I have had some real stiff people in my environment, even my current one, and just by trying to constantly reaffirm some of this positivity and push them to have a more positive outlook, I can see where the wheels are turning and they think about this stuff. Like my boss, for example, he thinks about this stuff more, I think, than he used to. That just like being positive, being force of good for people. And it's hard to do. It's harder to maintain and not just talk flowery phrases about, but even if we slip up, we should try to do that more and more every day. I'm not somebody who is particularly great at being the best me and always helping people I care about and really supporting them, but I'm learning to be better at that regularly and be a more like consistent, reliable friend. And I think that's really important to do as well. In an age where we can get so caught up on our phone, we really should reach out to the people we care about a little more and just get in touch, see how they're doing, ask them about their boring day they had the other day, care, see what they're up to, and regularly stay in touch, make plans to hang out when you can. Forgive people for being busy. That happens. Life is chaotic and hectic. So I had a buddy who a while back I felt kind of ghosted by. I was like, whatever, okay, he don't want to talk to me anymore. That's fine. I can tolerate that. But the truth is, 3 or so months went by and he texted me out of the blue and he's like, hey man, I couldn't afford minutes until like just now. It's been way too long. How have you been? What have you been up to? He hit me up and we talked and we caught up a bit, and it was clear that there was he like ditched me or anything. It was just really clear that life had kind of tested his luck and gotten him down, and he was getting back up and reaching back out after a spell of that. And I get that, because when I am down on my luck, I also have a tendency to kind of retreat into myself real bad, thinking it's like, oh, I don't want to bother people with my points of weakness, what I'm inadequate with. I don't really want to bring others' moods down. I've talked about venting in a previous video and how it can go horribly wrong for you, how it doesn't quite do what you want it to. And it's good to get things off your chest, especially as they need to as it comes up. But let's get a shot of the sky a little bit. So when it comes to letting negativity rule your day, you kind of need to learn to think about it as not letting people rule your headspace, like people who are already very negative, not to throw a phrase around, but the energy vampires of the world. Well, you kind of lose when you stoop to their level, when you start to always be ranting about them and what they're up to and how they ruined this and that. When you get to that point, they've kind of won. They now live rent-free in your head, and that's no good. So, like, you'll even hear people say, like, the only bad publicity is no publicity. I don't think I agree with that, but I can see how that works, like, on a logistic level. Gonna hop the tree. So, all in all, we're getting over to the water. Water good. Water my friend. Yep. Nope, we're not gonna trip. Nope. The water. This trail has a lot of downed trees on it and it's quite muddy, so I'm gonna kind of steer clear of the trail and just enjoy the water. So when you find yourself venting, because it does just happen, right, like as part of like an occurrence in life, afterwards make yourself reflect on something you enjoyed or cared about that happened recently or is going to happen soon, or if you don't have something like that, figure out what steps you need to take to insert something like that into your life. If you don't have anything positive coming up, you're just grinding and grinding and grinding, then yeah, it makes sense you're going to be burnt out and depressed and caught in the muck of the modern world. So don't let so much negativity rule your days. Don't let trying to be a mature adult stop you from getting out of your house now and again and doing something you care about, because you need to do that. We all need to do that. Go to the park, go to the store, go to that convention, go to that concert, join that club, try that new hobby. The more we do all of these things, the more enriched our life's just gonna become on its own. And that will lead to a more fulfilling way of being as a default. We'll start to just see things at a more positive light and angle. And that can be rewarding in its own right. And also, like, when you get into your hobbies and stuff, you're gonna meet people with common interest, and those people are gonna obviously vibe with you more and understand more of what you like are aiming for, what you believe in. They'll probably be more like-minded if they're willing to show up to the thing that you also enjoy. So try and find those passions, add them to your life, and they will also give you something to distract yourself from the bitters of the modern day. And another one that I'm sure everyone's tired of hearing beat to death is meditation. Just make yourself spend some time unplugged. You don't have to like sit and do like breathing based meditation. There are numerous kinds of meditation, but I recommend finding one that works for you and giving it a try. And see, this is why I wasn't worried about the icy stairs. I'm gonna just take the back way to the falls. Except I'm gonna go up by the water. That's better, right? Everyone loves the water, myself included. There's still a bit of ice down here because we're in this like giant valley, this like crevice. It's pretty cool. I like it. Makes this one of the more interesting parks in the area. When I was younger, I took for granted how cool a park I had basically in my backyard. So we're gonna get up to the waterfall and hopefully do a little bit of filming there. And that's where we'll wrap up my video with some final thoughts about maintaining positivity and controlling your exposure to negativity, and then managing your exposure to negativity once it's happened. Because once we're good at that, we're pretty unstoppable. Like, if we can actually like work through and filter out the negativity, we're in a pretty great way. So something I'm excited about is, you can see the stairs I was on earlier that were iced over and I didn't trust. I made the long way around, and I'm not wearing the right shoes for this, but here we are, closer to the falls. We'll see just how close we can get. The water's also not too low, so I don't know how much I'm going to go out onto the rocks. I like the layer of ice off to the side. Here we are. Okay. So, conclusion. Maintaining positivity is not an easy feat in the modern world, and it seems like as time goes by, it gets harder and harder. More and more platforms are swamped with people really struggling, really just not getting what they want out of life. And at the same time, I believe that people as a whole are getting caught up in a spread of negativity that runs deeper than the problems we actually are facing as a society. And that if we can get back to more positive thinking, we can get back to communicating with people easier, get back to public spaces feeling less like a threatening space that you don't want to get caught in, and more like a place people go to engage and be like secure and meet people. Like, nobody feels safe anymore. And we need to change that. We need to turn the world back into a safe place for people to go. And it starts every day, one day at a time, by just being more present in your community, in your local space, in your own environment, in what you care about. Just making yourself participate in those things will lead to us building up what we actually care about. Time and consistency, I've talked about, are very much key to actually building something relevant. Like, nothing great was built overnight, so spend a lot of time on what you actually care about. Put that energy, put that extra legwork into it, and go enjoy some nature. These parks are all over the US. I'm planning to, long term, once my car is in better shape, do a series that's just exploring tons and tons of these state parks and national parks and even just local little nature preserves and shit. So this should be a fun segment on my channel. If you're someone who likes to enjoy a good hike, then perhaps this section of my content will be more your speed. I also will be doing a series on stargazing potentially. So we're gonna conclude this here. I'm gonna spoil myself a little bit and have some alone time, some quiet time with the park. I recommend you guys find a window to do the same. Go do that thing you love. Somebody needs to. And have a lovely day.